Welcome back to another edition of Irish Illustrated 321, 3 minutes, two analysts and one topic, and joined by Tim Priester today. Tim, our topic is who did we undervalue or underrate in our Counting Down the Irish series? And we're trying to keep injuries out of it, of course, in this situation.
Yeah, and there's some other circumstances involved. Like we had Zeke Corral at number 36, and that was before we fully realized that he was likely to be the starting center as they moved Jarrett Patterson over to guard. But what we're hearing about Tobias Merriweather, we had him number 44. Well, we've heard about him in June and now into July, what he's done with the team and his workouts. He's clearly going to be a significant part of a Notre Dame receiving corps that is looking for quality pieces, and he appears to be one of them.
And interestingly enough, we underrated him at 44, but we did have him one spot ahead of Deion Colsey at number 45. But I think Merriweather is more in the plans than a guy that could just be in the plans. I think last week I did Jaden Mickey's write-up at number 33, and I'm not saying he belongs at 13 instead of 33, but you certainly could put him up there in range where Clarence Lewis is at 27, where Ramon Henderson is at 24. I think Jaden Mickey is going to have an impact on this season, especially because now we were on the topic of freshmen, but Marcus Freeman mentioned his name when we talked to him. He just threw the name Jaden Mickey out there. It's not just sources inside the Goog or behind the scenes. It's the head coach as well.
Yeah, and I think where do we have Justin Adamolola? He's number 13. He's not underrated by us. I think nationally he's underrated. But I think the guy that we probably have underrated the most, and Notre Dame fans won't agree because they didn't like a lot of things that happened last year, but I think J.D. Bertrand at number 28 is rated too low. We made the assumption in the spring with Bertrand out recovering from wrist surgery that, Bo Bauer is going to be the starter, and he may be at Mike linebacker. But J.D. Bertrand, look, he struggled in space. There was no doubt. And he was worn out and beaten up. But he led the team by 46 tackles inside the box. He's pretty darn good. You get him outside the tackle box, and he struggles a little bit. But I think at 28, he's probably the most underrated guy we have on the list.
Yeah, and he's probably a true 1B. There's not a lot of 1Bs in reality, but that probably is Bertrand. Now, we had Tariq Bracy at number 20. I think we are properly rating him. I bet you Chris O'Leary and Mike Mickens think we're underrating Bracy for what he can become. But I can see how no one on our Tom Loy and Kevin Sinclair also voted. It's hard to put a guy like Bracy, who we've seen so much of, higher than that right now.
Yeah, because he struggled in the past. So we understand that. I think the last guy I'll suggest, and again, this probably won't be popular or agreed upon, but I think Josh Lugg at 23 as a 6-year senior starting at right guard. I realize that there are plays that he didn't make, but I think that's a gimme for Harry Hiestand to start him. He's a veteran player. I think he'll have a quality season for Notre Dame.
That's it for this edition of 321. We'll be back with another later in the week on irishillustrated.com.